Now let me hit you with a hard truth. If you can't control your emotions will control you. Think about it. How many times have you let anger, frustration, or fear dictate your decisions? How many opportunities have you missed because you let your emotions cloud your judgment? Here's the thing. Emotional control isn't just some nice-to-have skill. It's essential for success in every aspect of your life. Whether you're building a business, climbing the career ladder, or even just trying to maintain strong relationships, your ability to stay calm and collected when the pressure hits can be the difference between winning and losing. Imagine making life-changing decisions when you're angry or upset. Does that sound like a recipe for success? Of course not. Emotional control gives you clarity. It allows you to respond, not react. It's the silent power that separates the winners from the losers. It's about keeping your head when everything around you seems to be falling apart. If you can master your emotions, you'll stop sabotaging your own success. So, the question isn't should you control your emotions, it's how long are you going to let them control you. The sooner you take charge, the sooner you'll unlock your full potential. This isn't just about peace of mind. It's about dominating your life and becoming the strongest version of yourself. No one's coming to save you. Every man is born into a war zone, whether he realizes it or not. The moment you take your first breath, the battle begins. You either fight for what's yours, or you get trampled by men who are stronger, faster, and more ruthless. That's the game. That's life. Society has lied to you. They filled your head with soft nonsense, telling you that life is fair, that good things come to those who wait, that everyone is special. Bullshit. Life doesn't hand out participation trophies. Life is a battlefield, and respect is only given to those who earn it. You either become a warrior or a victim. The choice is yours. But here's the truth. Life isn't a handout. It's a fight. And most of you don't even realize you're in one. You walk around expecting opportunities to be handed to you, whining about your circumstances, waiting for some miracle to drop from the sky. Let me tell you something. No one owes you a damn thing. Not the world, not society, not even your own family. You either rise and take what's yours, or you get left behind. Look around. The weak are chewed up and spat out every single day. The world respects only one currency: power. Not the power that comes from handouts or luck, but the power forged in battle, in struggle, in relentless, back-breaking effort. The kind of power that comes from facing hardship head-on and refusing to break. Every struggle, every failure, every rejection, it's a test. You are in a never-ending war, and every hit you take is an opportunity to level up. Life is a video game, but unlike the garbage distractions you waste your time on, this one has real consequences. If you stay weak, you stay broke, miserable, invisible. But if you embrace the grind, if you take every hardship and turn it into a weapon, then you become unstoppable. Imagine you're a warrior in an arena. The crowd is screaming, your enemies stand before you, armed and ready. Fear creeps into your gut, but you don't back down. You fight, you take the blows, you bleed, but you keep swinging. And with every battle, you become sharper, stronger, faster. That's how you win. That's how you earn respect. Not by talking, not by wishing, by doing, by fighting. You want success? You want respect? You want to be the kind of man that others look up to? Then step up. No more excuses. No more self-pity. No more blaming others for your failures. Own your life. Own your struggles. Turn them into fuel. The pain you feel, it's the fire that will forge you into something greater, if you let it. Most men will never do this. Most will stay weak, comfortable, and pathetic. They'll drown in distractions, wasting their time on meaningless garbage, numbing their pain instead of facing it. But the few, the true warriors, they see the battlefield for what it is. They wake up every day ready for war. They take control, they push forward, they don't wait for motivation, they don't make excuses, they act. You want to know what true manhood looks like? It's the man who refuses to quit. The man who stands his ground when the world tries to break him. The man who doesn't just talk about success, he bleeds for it. He sacrifices for it. He earns it. So here's the question. Are you going to be the weak, forgotten man who let life crush him? Or are you going to be the warrior who rose from the ashes and built an empire with his bare hands? Get up, fight, win. No one's coming to save you. It's all on you. Now step into the ring and prove your worth. The modern world has sold you a lie. A weak, poisonous lie that tells you to follow your feelings, that emotions should dictate your actions. That's the talk of men who will never build anything, never conquer anything, never leave a mark on this world. Feelings don't build empires, actions do. You think the great men of history cared about how they felt? You think warriors on the battlefield, kings on their thrones, or titans of industry hesitated because they didn't feel like it? No, they acted, they executed, they did what was required, no matter the cost, no matter the hardship. And that's why they are remembered while the weak are forgotten. A true man doesn't move based on fleeting whims. He doesn't let emotions dictate his choices. He wakes up every day and does what must be done, even if he doesn't want to, even if it's painful, even if it means stepping straight into the fire. Because that's what separates the strong from the weak. The willingness to endure, to suffer, to rise above comfort, and chase greatness with relentless discipline. Modern society breeds weakness. It tells you it's okay to quit when you're tired. It tells you to follow your heart, to listen to your emotions. But emotions are erratic. They are unstable. They change with the wind. If you base your life on them, you will never accomplish anything of value. A warrior doesn't stop fighting because he's scared. A leader doesn't stop leading because he's unsure. A man doesn't stop providing, building, and conquering because he doesn't feel like it. He pushes forward because duty demands it, because honor demands it, because that is what separates the men from the boys. So I ask you, what kind of man are you? Are you the type to crumble at the first sign of struggle? The kind who makes excuses, who justifies weakness, who hides behind emotions? Or are you the type to stand tall, to carry the weight, to do what must be done, no matter how you feel? The world does not care about your feelings. It does not reward softness. It rewards results. It rewards discipline. It rewards the man who steps up when others step back, the man who acts when others hesitate, the man who embraces hardship rather than running from it. Your feelings are irrelevant. Your duty is everything. If you want success, you must eliminate the habit of waiting for motivation. You must learn to act without emotion, without hesitation. You must commit yourself to the path of discipline where excuses do not exist and action is the only answer. Because at the end of the day, when everything is said and done, when your time is up, the world will not remember what you felt. It will remember what you did. So stop waiting, stop whining, stop giving in to weakness. Step up, take action, be a man. No more excuses. No more softness, no more waiting for the right moment. The time is now. Get to work. You want to be great? You want to stand above the rest? Have the power, the respect, the life you dream about? Then hear this. There is no shortcut. There is no easy road. Nothing precious comes easy. Everything you truly desire, everything worth having, demands a price paid in sweat, sacrifice, and relentless discipline. The world doesn't hand out trophies to the weak. It doesn't reward the ones who sit around waiting for motivation. Life doesn't care about your feelings, your excuses, or your circumstances. It only respects one thing: work. You say you want success? Then you better be ready to bleed for it, because challenge is your currency. Every hour of struggle, every drop of sweat, every sleepless night, it's all a transaction. You pay the price of greatness through pain, through suffering, through unrelenting discipline. You want to live like a king? You better be ready to fight like a warrior. Because every single man who has ever reached the top didn't do it by accident. They didn't stumble upon success. They clawed their way up. They embraced the pain. They faced resistance head on. The pain of struggle is the price tag of greatness. Weak men avoid it. They look for shortcuts. They seek comfort. They make excuses. But you must be different. You must run toward the fire. You must understand that suffering is not your enemy. It's your greatest teacher. When your muscles ache, when your mind tells you to quit, when everything inside you screams for comfort, that's when the real test begins. That's when the champions are separated from the mediocre. Do you break or do you rise? Let me tell you a hard truth. If everyone could do it, it wouldn't be worth a damn thing. If success was easy, if greatness came cheap, it would have no value. Think about that Lambo you dream of. You want it because it's rare, because not everyone can have it, because it represents victory. The grind, the pain, the years of effort, that's what makes it worth it. The same goes for power, respect, and success. If any weak, lazy man could have them, they'd mean nothing. The hard road is what gives greatness its meaning. The struggle is what makes it valuable, and the harder the road, the more worthy the reward. So what do? You embrace the grind. You make pain your ally. You get up early when the rest of the world is sleeping. You put in the hours when no one is watching. You push past the breaking point, because that's where greatness begins. You don't complain. You don't whine. You don't look for an easy way out. You put your head down, you put in the work, and you keep going day after day, month after month, year after year. Because the easy road, that's the road to mediocrity. That's the road to regret. That's the road to being just another nobody. Lost in the crowd, forgotten, and insignificant. Don't be that guy. Be the man who earns his success. Be the man who walks into a room and commands respect, because he built himself from the ground up. Be the man who took the punches, the setbacks, the failures, and still kept going. Be the living proof that greatness is built on blood, sweat, and tenacity. Stand tall, knowing you took the hard road, knowing you paid the price, knowing you deserve every damn thing you have. Because in the end, That's the only success that matters. The kind that was earned, the kind that no one can take from you. So step up, put in the work, pay the price, and take what's yours. This isn't a bedtime story. This isn't some feel-good nonsense meant to pat you on the back and tell you it's okay to be afraid. No, this is your wake-up call. Fear is not your enemy. It's your ally, your battle cry, your call to arms. Every real man who ever walked this earth has felt it. But the difference between those who win and those who fade into nothingness, the winners act. They step up when others back down. And you will too, if you have the courage to embrace the truth I'm about to give you. Every time you feel that cold grip of fear tightening around your chest, it's not a sign to run, it's a sign to attack. It means something is at stake. It means you're standing at the edge of a battlefield and it's time to fight. Hesitation will kill you. Do you think warriors felt safe before they charged into battle? Do you think legends were born in comfort? No. They knew fear, and they used it. Fear is the body's way of saying, this matters. It's the universe giving you the nudge, step up or stay small. The weak let fear paralyze them, make excuses, and crawl back to their comfort zones. The strong, they recognize fear for what it is, the starting gun, the go signal, the moment that separates men from cowards. You don't conquer fear by avoiding it. You conquer it by charging straight into the fire and proving to yourself that you will not break. You're going to feel fear. It's built into you. It's part of being human. You can't erase it, and you shouldn't even try. What you need to do is master it. Let it be there, acknowledge it, but never let it dictate your actions. You think champions don't feel fear before they step into the ring? You think business titans don't feel doubt before they make their biggest moves? Of course they do. The difference is they move anyway. They don't let the fear win. You have two choices. Be a slave to your fear, or be the man who stands in front of it and says, I don't care how I feel, I do what must be done. That's real power. That's real masculinity, because a man who cannot control his emotions, a man who folds under fear, is a man who will always be controlled by something greater than himself. When you feel that anxiety, that nervousness, that self-doubt creeping in, don't shrink, expand. Take that energy and redirect it. Fear is just energy. The problem with most men is that they let that energy hold them back instead of using it as a weapon. Think of a fighter before he enters the ring. He's got adrenaline pumping, his body is wired, his mind is racing, but he doesn't sit down and cry about it. He channels it into pure, ruthless aggression. He takes that nervous energy and turns it into explosive power. You have to do the same. The next time you feel that fear creeping in, don't pull back, push forward. Feel the doubt. Use it as a challenge. Feel the nerves. That means you're alive. That means you care. And if you care, you fight. Fear is not a stop sign. It's a green light. You want to know what separates the weak from the powerful? It's not who feels fear and who doesn't. It's who moves forward anyway. Courage isn't about being fearless. It's about standing up even when your hands are shaking. It's about walking through the storm, knowing you might get knocked down but refusing to stay down. It's about doing what must be done, even when every fiber of your being is screaming at you to turn back. Weak men wait for the fear to disappear before they take action. Strong men take action, despite the fear. They know the secret. Fear doesn't go away. It's always there, but the more you push through it, the more you realize it's just an illusion. It has no real power. You have the power. The greatest men in history, the ones who changed the world, weren't fearless. They were relentless. They felt fear, but they never let it control them. That's what you have to do. So here's your choice. Stay comfortable, stay afraid, stay small, or rise up, take action, and dominate. Harness the fear, own it, and let it fuel your fire. Because real men aren't defined by the fear they feel. They're defined by what they do in the face of it. Step up. Be the man who doesn't fold under pressure. Be the man who acts. That's the only way you win. This world isn't built for the weak, the impulsive, or the emotional. It's built for the men who can control themselves, who understand that every rash decision, every emotional outburst, every moment of lost control is another chink in the armor of their legacy. You don't get to be great by being ruled by your feelings. You don't build empires with tantrums. You build them with cold, calculated discipline. You ever see a man at the top who can't control himself? No, the world is run by men who hold their ground, who think before they act, who know that one wrong move can bring an empire crumbling down. Every decision you make must be deliberate. You want to be a champion? You want to dominate? Then kill the impulse. When you feel anger rise, when your emotions scream at you to react, step back, observe. Make your move when it serves your mission, not your fleeting feelings. Because if you act without control, you're handing your power to the world. And in this world, power is everything. You think strength is throwing a fit? You think it's lashing out when things don't go your way? That's weakness. That's self-destruction. A real man knows that his emotions are tools, not chains. Control your temper, or it will control you. Watch the men who collapse under pressure, who lose everything because they couldn't keep their mouths shut, because they couldn't stop themselves from acting on emotion. Weak men react, strong men calculate. You want power? Then be the man who holds his ground while the world crumbles around him. Be the man people look to when chaos erupts. Because when you master your emotions, you become unshakable, and an unshakable man is a man who wins. You think lashing out makes you strong? No, it makes you reckless. And reckless men don't lead. They don't inspire, they don't win. A man who controls his temper controls his destiny. Picture the greatest warriors, the greatest leaders in history. Did they break down when things got tough? No, they stood tall. They faced adversity with unflinching resolve. You can't let your emotions dictate your actions. Every time you feel anger, frustration, or fear, you have two choices: explode like a fool or channel that energy into something powerful. A real man takes that fire and forges it into steel. Discipline is what separates kings from peasants. It's what turns ordinary men into legends, and it starts with how you handle yourself when no one's watching. Every action you take should reflect strength and wisdom. Every move should be calculated. There is no place for weakness. The moment you allow emotions to dictate your behavior, you surrender control. And control is the key to everything. Discipline your emotions like you discipline your body. Train your mind to override impulse. Train yourself to stay calm under pressure, to make decisions based on strategy, not fleeting feelings. Because the man who controls himself controls his destiny. This world is ruthless. It doesn't care about your excuses, your feelings, your moments of weakness. It only rewards the strong, the disciplined, the unbreakable. You want to be that man? Then master yourself. Control your emotions. Build your legacy with iron discipline and unshakable resolve. Because at the end of the day, the man who controls himself controls the world. This is not for the weak. This is not for the lazy. This is for men who refuse to settle. Men who understand that life doesn't hand out trophies to those who sit back and wait. This is your no bullshit blueprint to dominance. You either take action or you get left behind. Motivation is a lie. It's a fleeting spark that burns out the moment life gets tough. You think successful men wake up every day feeling inspired? Hell no. They get up and do what needs to be done, whether they feel like it or not. The men who build empires, who forge legacies, they don't rely on feeling good. They rely on iron discipline. That's the difference between winners and losers. Winners execute. Losers wait to feel ready. So what's your move? Are you waiting for that magical surge of motivation to hit you? Wake up. That's weakness talking. Replace motivation with discipline. Turn discipline into habit. And habit, that's what builds greatness. You ever hear a lion say, "I don't feel like hunting today"? No, because if he does, he starves. But men, they wake up and say, "I don't feel like going to the gym. I don't feel like working on my business. I don't feel like putting in the effort." And then they wonder why they're broke, weak, and stuck in the same miserable cycle. Every time you say, "I don't feel like it," what you're really saying is, "I choose weakness." You don't feel like working. Too bad, work anyway. You don't feel like training? Too bad, train anyway. Success doesn't care about your feelings. The world doesn't owe you comfort. You either do the work or you stay exactly where you are. Watching real men rise while you rot in your excuses. You want results, you want money, power, respect. You better be ready to bleed for it, because nothing worth having comes easy. The ring, pain, the boardroom, pressure, the battlefield of life, a relentless war against mediocrity. Weak men seek comfort. They want the easy route, but the easy route leads nowhere. Champions, they embrace the struggle. They step into the fire willingly, because they know that's where the real transformation happens. You think I got here by taking days off? By crying about how hard it is? No, I put in the work every damn day, because results demand sacrifice. The world rewards the relentless, not the comfortable. So when it hurts, when your body screams for rest, when your mind begs you to quit, that's the exact moment you push harder. That's when you separate yourself from the average, because anyone can work when it's easy. The real men work when it's hell. Weakness is not an excuse. Weakness is a choice. But guess what? So is strength. So is discipline. Every man is given a choice. Bow down to weakness or forge himself into something unbreakable. You don't become disciplined overnight. You build it brick by brick, moment by moment. Every time you push through resistance, you're shaping your character. Every time you do what you said you would, despite how you feel, you're reinforcing your dominance. And the moment you make discipline non-negotiable, that's the moment you become unstoppable. You want to be remembered? You want to be respected? Then act like it. Get up earlier, train harder, work smarter, cut out the excuses. Because at the end of the day, no one gives a damn about what you felt like doing. The only thing that matters is what you did. This is your wake-up call. This is your breaking point. Right here, right now, you decide, are you the man who rises, who fights, who dominates? Or are you the man who makes excuses, who settles, who fades into nothingness? The choice is yours. But make no mistake, only one path leads to greatness. And it sure as hell isn't the easy one. Now, get to work. This is your brutal wake-up call. The truth nobody wants to tell you. The reality most men will ignore until it's too late. If you let your feelings run wild, you're signing up for a lifetime of regret, failure, and mediocrity. No man ever built an empire by being a slave to his emotions. No warrior ever conquered by letting fear dictate his moves. No king ever ruled by giving in to weakness. Unchecked emotion is the root of every downfall. It wrecks relationships, destroys opportunities, and leaves men drowning in a sea of self-inflicted chaos. You want proof? Look at history. Look at the legends, the conquerors, the great men who shaped the world. They didn't let fleeting emotions control them. They controlled their emotions and, in doing so, commanded their destiny. Every failure has one common denominator: emotions left unchecked. You see men who lash out in rage, making decisions in the heat of the moment that ruin their lives. One outburst, one weak moment, and they destroy years of progress. You see men who let fear keep them small, avoiding risks because they're terrified of the unknown. They spend their lives hiding, never stepping up, never taking control. Then there's the worst kind, the ones who let comfort and pleasure dictate their every move. They indulge in every impulse, chase every distraction, and live like undisciplined fools. These are the men who waste their potential, who never achieve anything because they trade discipline for dopamine, long-term success for short-term gratification. You want to be one of them? You want to be another weak man lost in the abyss of failure? No. You want to dominate, to rise, to build something unbreakable. And that starts with mastering your emotions. Society has fed you a lie. They tell you to follow your feelings. They tell you that emotions are everything. That's the kind of weak, pathetic thinking that keeps men soft, keeps men average. Feelings are deceptive. One day you feel motivated, the next you don't. One day you're fired up, the next you're exhausted. If you live by your feelings, you'll never accomplish anything, because feelings are temporary. But discipline is permanent. A real man doesn't feel his way through life. He decides, he takes action, regardless of how he feels. He understands that emotion is a tool, not a master. He knows that the second he allows emotions to take over, he loses control. And when you lose control, you lose everything. History and scripture have been warning you for centuries. Self-indulgence leads to destruction. The man who gives in to every temptation, who chooses pleasure over purpose, is the man who falls first. Look at the men who let their emotions control them. The ones who chase women without self-restraint. The ones who gamble away their fortune because they felt lucky. The ones who destroy their bodies with gluttony and addiction because they felt like it. Weak men indulge. Strong men sacrifice. Weak men seek comfort. Strong men seek greatness. A moment of weakness can cost you everything. A single bad decision fueled by unchecked emotion can take away years of hard work. So you must ask yourself, will you control your emotions or will they control you? Every weak man chases the easy way. They avoid discomfort, avoid struggle, and let emotions guide them. But every great man takes the harder path, the disciplined path, the path that forces him to master himself. It's easy to lash out in anger, hard to control yourself. It's easy to give in to temptation, hard to stay disciplined. It's easy to quit when you're tired, hard to keep pushing. But the harder path is the one that builds warriors, the one that separates the weak from the strong, the one that makes you unshakable, unstoppable, unbreakable. So what will it be? Will you let your emotions rule you, or will you take charge? Will you let fleeting feelings dictate your future, or will you commit to discipline, to strength, to dominance? The man who controls his emotions controls his world. When you master your reactions, you become a force of nature. You don't waste energy on petty fights. You don't crumble under pressure. You don't lose yourself to temporary feelings. Instead, you act with purpose, with strategy, with unwavering focus. Discipline your emotions, and your actions will reflect strength. Control your impulses, and you will shape a legacy. Hold yourself to a higher standard, and you will command the respect and power that weak men can only dream of. Step up. Shut down the chaos. Build a legacy that is unbreakable. Listen, the battlefield of manhood is real, and it's not some metaphorical nonsense. The world doesn't care about your feelings, it cares about what you can do. Manhood isn't a gift handed to you, it's a war you fight every day. Every man is thrown into a battle with the world, with expectations, and with his own inner demons. You will be tested, no one will spare you, and if you're weak, you'll crumble. Every real man knows this truth. He faces the fight head-on, regardless of the odds, and comes out victorious. The battlefield is ruthless, and it will break you or make you stronger. You have to choose. Will you rise or will you fall? Desires are the enemy. We all have them: comfort, pleasure, instant gratification. But they're distractions, traps set to keep you weak. Duty, on the other hand, is what makes a man. Duty isn't about what you want, it's about what you must do, regardless of your own desires. A real man prioritizes responsibility, service, and commitment over fleeting pleasures. He understands that achieving greatness requires sacrifice. The men who win in life aren't those who chase empty desires, but those who put duty first, those who are willing to do what others won't for the greater good. The key is to learn to control your desires. When you can't control them, you're nothing but a slave. Duty is what separates the men from the boys. Adversity isn't something to avoid, it's something to embrace. It's the crucible in which true strength is forged. Every challenge you face, every hardship you endure is building you into something better. When life knocks you down, don't whine about it. Get back up and learn from it. Adversity forces you to adapt, to evolve, to become a better version of yourself. You want success without pain. You're dreaming. Those who've never faced hardship are weak. They never grow. When you face adversity, you're building the muscle needed for the challenges ahead. This world isn't kind, but that's why it rewards those who learn how to thrive under pressure. Fear is the ultimate weapon that can either destroy you or make you unstoppable. Every man feels fear, but the difference between the weak and the strong is how they respond to it. Fear is a signal, not an enemy. The weak run from it, cower, and give up. The strong face it head-on and conquer it. The key to mastery is not to let fear control you, but to use it to fuel your actions. When you face what scares you, you build courage. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the willingness to act in spite of it. The greatest achievements are born from overcoming fear. If you run from fear, you'll never achieve greatness. But if you confront it, you'll see that fear is nothing more than a shadow in your path. Every time you beat it, you become more powerful. The world doesn't care about your emotions. If you're ruled by your feelings, you're weak. Stoicism teaches you to control yourself, to be indifferent to the chaos around you. The man who can remain calm in the storm is the one who wins. Emotions are powerful, but they're also dangerous when they're allowed to control you. Stoicism gives you the strength to rise above them, to act with clarity and purpose, not based on fleeting feelings. Self-control is the foundation of success. You have to master yourself before you can master the world. Every time you resist temptation, every time you push through when you don't feel like it, you build strength. Control your impulses, control your reactions, and you control your destiny. Excuses are for the weak. The world doesn't care why you can't do something. It cares about what you're doing. If you want results, you need action. Nothing else matters. Real men don't sit around making excuses or blaming others for their failures. They take responsibility for their lives. You don't have time for excuses, you have time for work. Results come from action, not from whining about circumstances. Whatever you want in life, you must take it. No one is going to hand it to you. It's not about what happens to you, it's about what you do in response. Excuses hold you back, action pushes you forward. Stop making excuses and start making moves. Only action leads to success.